Hi everybody. So in this video, we're going to solve this little rational inequality. Negative 4 over 2x plus 5 is less than 0. Now this one's still a fairly straightforward inequality to work with. So what I want to do here is just start off with, I'm going to compare this to y equals 1 over x. Okay, and 1 over x, when I sketch this out, it's going to look a little something like this. Here's my y-axis, here's my x-axis, and it's going to swoop down like this. So it's got these two asymptotes, this vertical asymptote here at x equals 0, and a horizontal asymptote here at y equals 0. So if I was to ask, in this particular case here, where is 1 over x less than 0? Well, I can tell by looking at it where that's true. Okay, that little piece on the left-hand side there is always going to be below that 0 line. Okay, so remember, what I'm asking for here is when I ask where is it less than 0, I'm asking where is this function below the x-axis? And this function is below the x-axis whenever x is less than 0. Because basically what we're saying here is anytime you put a negative in the denominator here in this expression 1 over x, the whole thing is going to turn negative. Okay, so now we want to do is what happens when 1 over x becomes negative 4 over 2x plus 5? Well, there's a couple things I want to do here. What I want to do, just to make the change here clear, so I'm going to leave that negative 4 there. I'm going to factor a 2 out of the denominator. It's going to look like that. Okay? So now I want to talk about what's going on. What happens when y equals 1 over x becomes y equals negative 4 over, I'll come down here, 2 times x plus 5 over 2. Well, first of all, there has been, because of the negative that shows up here, maybe I'll do it in blue here. Because of the negative that shows up here, there's been a vertical reflection of the original graph. That 1 over x, I can see, has been vertically reflected over the x-axis. Okay, so over the x-axis. Then that 4 is a vertical stretch by a factor of 4. By a factor of 4 about the x-axis. That 2 in the denominator being in front here. Now, there's a couple of different ways that we could have interpreted this. And I could have simplified this a little bit, but I want to talk about the transformations here. I can think of this as a horizontal stretch by a factor, and remember how that works, of 1/2 about the y-axis. And again, someone could ask here, could I have just simplified, gone 4 divided by 2? Yeah, I could have. And I could have interpreted that in a couple of different ways there. But I'm pulling these out the way I think a lot of you will see it instantaneously here. And then that plus 5 over 2 there is a horizontal translation. 5 over 2 units to the left. So now what's going to happen here is this graph that we've got over here, this y equals 1 over x, which looks like this, is going to first of all undergo a flip. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to have this reflection. Then it's going to undergo, so this is the reflection here. Then it's going to undergo my stretches. And I'm going to do the horizontal and vertical stretches together. No, my graph looks terrible. Because when I stretch it vertically about the x-axis, okay, it's going to get a fair bit steeper. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch it about the y-axis. It's going to bring it in a little bit steeper. But it actually doesn't change, at that point, it doesn't change the vertical asymptote or the horizontal asymptote. That's still going to be y equals 0 for the horizontal, x equals 0 for the vertical. The only part of this that's actually going to affect the position of that vertical asymptote in particular is the translation, which is going to be 2.5 units to the left, 5 halves to the left here. So it's going to put that over here. My vertical, My horizontal asymptote doesn't change. The vertical one does. So now my graph is going to look something like this. And now I can ask, where is that graph, which is now negative 4, 2 times x plus 5 halves, where is that less than 0? Well, that graph is below the x-axis, okay, whenever the x value that I plug in is greater than that negative 5 halves down here. X equals negative 5 halves. That's my vertical asymptote. So as long as that is true, my graph will be less than 0, will be below the x-axis.